Hey, today we're doing something a little different. Introducing the meetup we have in less than 20 days from when I recorded this. I tried out the new Google Notebook LM. I thought I'd include that in my introduction. See what you think. Comment. I'm going to keep quiet for most of this.
Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're diving headfirst into unstructured data.
Unstructured data.
It's everywhere, right? It's like emails and social media and all that stuff. It's not neatly organized.
Right. Yeah.
Like it's not in a spreadsheet somewhere.
Yeah. And it's really hard to analyze, like traditionally, for computers to really get a grasp on it.
Exactly. So that's what we're looking at today, how AI is tackling this messy world of information.
And especially how generative AI is, changing the game.
Totally. And to help us unpack all of this, we're taking cues from the Unstructured Data Meetup happening in New York City on October 23rd.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating. So really focusing on how to connect all this raw, unstructured data with the power of generative AI.
Makes sense. That's like the big challenge right now.
Huge. And they've got experts talking about three big things: vector search, metadata lakes, and then the evolution of IDP, which is
intelligent document processing.
Exactly, intelligent document processing.
Which has been around, but it's changing rapidly. So.
Rapidly is an understatement, but we'll get to that. First, let's talk about vector search.
Okay.
So we've got Uri Goren, CEO of Urimax. He's giving a talk called, get this, Introduction to Vector Search.
Straightforward.
Right. But anyway, he basically says that deep learning, as powerful as it is, it really struggles with messy data.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like, imagine trying to teach a computer to understand, I don't know, like a casual conversation.
Right, full of slang and idioms. And,
exactly, and sarcasm and all of the nuance.
And that computers usually trip over.
Big time. That's where these vector databases come in.
Okay, so tell me more about these vector databases. How do they help?
Yeah, so this is going pretty good. Just to give you an example, in the real meetup, we have 3 human speakers, including my 4 if you include me. I don't know. I might be a cyborg, but let's go from here.
So instead of forcing data into these like rigid categories, they turn information into points in a multi-dimensional space.
Multi-dimensional space. You're blowing my mind a little here.
It sounds more complicated than it is. Think of it like Spotify recommending songs.
Okay, I can get behind that.
Right. It finds connections based on like the meaning and relationships between songs, not just the artist or genre.
So it's understanding the vibes.
Yeah, exactly, the vibes.
So instead of just searching by keywords, we're searching by meaning and context.
Exactly.
That's the game changer.
That's wild. Okay, so we can search through all this data in a much smarter way, but then how do we make sense of it all? It's still a jumbled mess.
That's where metadata lakes come in, which is a whole other can of worms.
Okay, so walk me through this, because it still sounds a bit like a digital junk drawer to me.
Right. So we've got Lisa N. Cow, a product manager at Datastrato, and she's giving a talk called Metadata Lakes for Next Gen AI ML.
Catchy.
Right. So she describes these metadata lakes as being like supercharged digital librarians.
Okay, I like where this is going.
They tag and connect information within all that messy data, like a librarian, but on a massive scale.
So no more scrolling endlessly through files trying to remember where you saw something important. So it's like we're bringing order to the chaos.
Exactly. It's all about making connections. And you know what's really interesting?
What's that?
Lisa actually highlights this open source project, Apache Gravitino. It's trying to standardize metadata lake.
Standardize. So it's like, imagine if every library used the same cataloging system.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be incredible. Universal organization.
Right.
So, yeah, there's a couple of really great talks. I'm going to start it off with a little bit of background on Milvus and show you some of the latest demos and interesting stuff going on. Share a couple of models. I'll cut to that after this introduction.
Talk about a game changer.
No kidding. Okay, so we've talked about searching through the data. We've talked about organizing it. What's next?
Well, now we got to deal with all those documents, right?
Ah, yes, document processing. The bane of, well, pretty much everyone's existence.
And businesses especially, they're drowning in paperwork.
Invoices, contracts, the list goes on.
It's never ending. But that's where IDP comes in, or at least that's where it's headed.
Okay, so intelligent document processing. Refresh my memory. What's the big deal here?
So it's been around for a while, but it's had its issues. Naren H., co-founder of Unstract, he gives this great talk. It's called Unstructured Document Data Extraction at Scale with LLMs, Challenges and Solutions. Long title.
Catchy. What's he have to say?
Well, he talks about how traditional IDP systems, they were really clunky.
Clunky how? Give me an example.
It's like, imagine you're trying to explain the alphabet to a computer.
Okay, that sounds painful.
Right. And you have to do it every single time it encounters a new document. That's what manual tagging was like.
So someone had to sit there and basically teach the computer how to understand every single document.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Okay, that's not scalable.
Not at all. But you can probably guess what I'm about to say.
LLMs to the rescue.
You got it. LLMs are changing everything. Naren talks about how they can learn context and extract meaning so much faster.
So no more manual tagging.
Less and less. Like IDP got a turbo boost.
That's amazing. Although LLMs, they can be a bit resource intensive, let's say.
True. So how do we make them efficient enough for everyday use? That's the million-dollar question.
Especially since most businesses aren't made of money.
Exactly. And that's where Naren's company comes in, Unstract. They're using vector databases to make LLM-powered IDP way more efficient.
Wait, vector databases? Those are back?
They're the gift that keeps on giving. Remember how we were talking about how they find similar items based on meaning?
Right, it was like the Spotify example.
Exactly. So they're using that to help LLMs process documents faster. Instead of analyzing every single word, they can use vector search to find similar documents they've already seen.
So it's like the system is constantly learning and getting smarter.
Exactly. Which makes it faster and more efficient. It's all connected.
I'm seeing the bigger picture now. This is really cool stuff.
It really is. And it just goes to show how important all these advancements are. Vector search, metadata lakes, LLMs, they all work together to solve this massive challenge of unstructured data.
Wow, we really have covered a lot of ground today, from like the very basic problems of unstructured data to some really mind-blowing solutions.
Yeah, it's incredible how fast this field is moving.
It really is. So let's take a second to recap. We started with this whole challenge of unstructured data, right?
Like trying to find a needle in a haystack, except the haystack is made of digital information.
And it's constantly growing.
Exactly. But then we talked about these incredible tools like vector search that can help us make sense of it all.
Searching by meaning, not just keywords. That still blows my mind.
It's a game changer, for sure. And then we moved on to organizing all that data with metadata lakes. Like, imagine having a librarian for all the world's information.
And not just any librarian, a super-powered AI library.
Exactly. And then we finished up with the evolution of IDP, how LLMs are making it possible to process documents faster and more efficiently than ever before.
No more manual tagging. It feels like we're on the verge of something truly transformative.
We are. Just imagine the possibilities. Doctors could diagnose diseases faster. Researchers could make groundbreaking discoveries. The potential is limitless.
It's really exciting to think about. But, and I think this is important to remember, with any new technology, there are always ethical considerations.
Absolutely. We need to make sure these advancements are used responsibly and for the benefit of everyone.
Couldn't agree more. Well, on that note, that's a wrap on our deep dive into unstructured data and generative AI. It's a complex topic, but hopefully we've shed a little light on how these technologies are shaping the future. What do you think?
I think this is just the beginning. I'm excited to see where we go from here.
Me too. And everyone listening, thanks for joining us on this journey. We'll see you next time for another deep dive. Hey,
Yeah.
everyone, and welcome. Today we're done.
Well, we'll edit that out in post. So that's pretty cool. Thank you, Google Notebook LM, for giving us a little introduction of what you'll see for real in person. And like I said, I'll start it off, in New York with a little introduction to, what we're going to be covering. We'll have a little surprise Halloween stuff. You might have saw some of my costume there. I am doing some research on, can you capture and store a ghost as unstructured data in a vector database? We'll find out in a couple of days. Fortunately, I have until the end of the month to get it exactly set up, but we'll have some cool demos. We'll cover lots of cool stuff using Milvus. We'll do some LangChain. We'll do some RAG apps. We'll show you a couple new models that have been floating around. Try some things out. and have as good pizza as we had last time. Everyone who knows there, we finished all the pizza, so we got time there. If you can't make it in person to New York on the 23rd, we will be recording this. They have great Zoom setup, multiple cameras, multiple microphones. This will be a very good event. Like we said, 3 speakers and me doing a short talk there. Make sure anyone who's looking for a job or hiring, we'll go through that real quick. We'll be in the same place as last time. Definitely come out and see us. It'll be a good event. If you can't make it on that day, like I said, it'll be recorded, but we will have another meetup the next day in one of my favorite places, 23 Orchard, where we did the NJX venture. It is an awesome location for Princeton area. We'll have my buddy Unstract, Naren there is going to talk slightly different, but again, probably most people aren't going to be in New York and in Princeton. I'm going to do a fuller talk on vector databases and some AI, and I guess I have to change my costume, and we'll have to figure out what you think on that. I'm still up in the air about that one, but we'll see that when we get to it. See you in a couple of weeks.